It's into Wales. Wales through a goal. Slots it beyond Foderingham. And the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box for Doffin. He can hit them. And he does. The Doffin! Has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.
Do me a favour, drop me off in Rotherham.
Hello everybody, welcome again to New York Talk. This is obviously the Rotherham United podcast. We have another Rotherham game to talk about, which means it's sadly a defeat. Firstly defeating in 3 games, so, you know, the end of an unbeaten run. But there we go. Yeah, we'll talk about the 1-0 defeat at home to Stoke. We'll talk about transfer news and a few rumours in between, which are good fun. Mick is back. How are you doing, Mick?
Oh, mate, all good, mate. Thank you. You?
Very, very good. And Kev's back. How are you doing, Kev?
Good, mate. Thank you. And Happy New Year, everyone, as well.
And you, mate. Thank you. We've got loads with us. YouTube users, Sarah Ogden, Graham Lindley, Darren Coward says there's plenty to talk about. Richard's with us. Chris Page says hi all, Peth League One. Dave Carrolls and Scott Kent and Simon Thorne, loads with us. Thank you everybody with us so far. Let's just dive straight in, mate. Let's just get on with it. 1-0 loss at Stoke. Frustrating. And I think I've put it in the show title, to be honest with you, and that's the worst thing. It was boring. It was so boring from us yesterday. Especially at home, we've been quite entertaining and positive and aggressive and everything else. It was just dull for 90. Other than maybe a 5-minute spell, 5-10 minute spell, maybe. It was just a dull afternoon.
Yeah, it was. We just didn't seem to have any idea going forward at all, did we? Bizarre, because in the previous 3 games, we have looked dangerous at times, and obviously we scored goals. But yesterday, there just seemed to be nothing at all going forward. Nothing. And I can't really put my finger on why. You know, we talked in the last podcast after the Fulham game about this sort of. There seems to be a bit of a. I don't know what the word is, a desire, but that's not the right word, to play backwards rather than forwards, and that was evident yesterday again. You know, there were times when we could have played a forward ball when we played a backwards one, I don't know what it is, but that really hit us hard yesterday, because we just, like I said, we were completely toothless going forward. We couldn't get the ball up to the front two. Nombe were having to chase right back to his own 18-yard box to try and pick the ball up, and that's not what he's there for. You know, he's there to get in behind defenders, and he showed a couple of times during the game that he was capable of doing that. But we didn't exploit it at all. I don't know. It was just that they just didn't seem on it yesterday at all. That's how it came across.
Yeah, and it's frustrating, Kev, because I thought Stoke going forward, they kept the ball really well. I thought parts of their game were good, but they were definitely there to be got at. There were several moments where defensively you just thought, what are you doing here? And then just made odd mistakes. And we never looked like taking advantage of that. And it's just a massive missed opportunity.
Yeah, huge. And like you're right, Stoke, they had a few tricks, they had a few nice touches, a few flicks here and there. Looked all right, but they never caused any danger. Really, I think they had the first real shot. Johansson saved it last minute. So they were definitely there for taking. I thought they were really poor Stoke. I was disappointed. If I was a Stoke fan, I wouldn't have been leaving that ground happy. And well, they didn't start singing on 94th minute anyway. But I still wouldn't have left happy. But we were shocking. That's probably one of the worst, flattest, effortless performances I've seen in a Rotherham team, because, like Mick says, there were no pace at all, no width at all. Nobody running down flanks. There were 1 point in first half. Hugo, the brilliant ball down at the top. Hugo looked like he was treading treacle, and he ended up cutting back in, holding it up, and as per usual, taking a tumble to the floor and holding his head. There was just nothing there. No creativity, no effort, no nothing. Always good players, Bramall and Rathbone and all them. They've all gone missing as well. So it's like we're just lacking so much confidence. There's no confidence in that team at all. There's no confidence passing forward to anybody. Like Mick says, Nombe is running for 2 men. It's an absolute shit. Sorry, shower off. It's not good. Sorry.
Yeah, no, you're right. Got a top kill that says poor against a poor team. Shelley says, must be the worst performance we've seen for a very long time. The worst thing for him, there was no attempt whatsoever to change the shape. Still persisted at 5 at the back. We'll come on to subs and changes later on. Let's get the goal out of the way, Mick. Because it was the only real bit of quality in the entire game.
Yeah.
Was it a free kick? Now, from where I was sat, which is next to you, I thought it was a foul. But replays suggest it was soft.
Well, I've not watched it back, so I can't really comment on it. The free kick was fantastic. Absolutely top bins, weren't it? It was a postage stamp job, and it was unstoppable. So yeah, I mean from that part of it, whether it were a free kick, I don't know. I can't comment. I can't, much as I'd like to, and say that it wasn't. The people I've spoken to who have watched it have all said probably wasn't. It was soft, but you know, Lucas has certainly put his hand on him. Whether he's actually pulled him back or not is another matter.
Yeah.
But if you put your hand on somebody there, they're going to throw themselves to the floor, whether or not you pull them. So you know that was naive, and Keith Stroud's going to give it. If somebody throws himself on the deck, he's going to give it, particularly in that area. So
on his big day as well.
Say again.
On his big day, 600th game.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it was or it wasn't, but you know, you're not going to stop it.
No, I think you're right. I think Lucas should know better than to touch him there. It looked like a foul to me. Kev, you obviously use the other side of the ground. What do you think?
Yeah, I couldn't really see. But initially, instant reaction was it wasn't a foul. I think they were playing to Keith Stroud's strengths and going down any opportunity.
Yeah.
That I think number 7, he was embarrassing.
It was embarrassing.
What were he doing? And the other guy, and all this, some name I can't pronounce. He was the same. So, like you say, and then but I've watched it back since. A lot of people on Twitter saying it were a foul. You're mad, blah blah. Then I've watched it back, and I don't think it was a foul. But like you say, Keith Stroud don't need any. If someone puts an hand on someone, he's going to give a free kick. But I actually didn't think Keith Stroud was that bad yesterday. I thought for Keith Stroud, he weren't as bad as I expected. But yeah, you can't. And the goal itself, absolute no keeping will saving that. Can't blame anybody. Unbelievable strike.
No, that's Stoke. I love it. They're not a particularly good team, but they've got players with really good quality, and that just shone out in that moment. Race Miller says he thought Stroud had a good game as well. Mick, you happy with Mr. Stroud? There was a moment. One of the criticism was there was a moment in the second half we had a corner, and it was all quite calm, and then Keith decided to have a conversation. It all just sort of escalated because he had a conversation, which was quite odd.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I'm not going to criticise him from yesterday.
Oh, go on.
No, I'm not because you know, given the way he's performed previously against us, I don't think he had a bad game at all. Like Kev said, you know, he must be one of his very few out of 600 where he didn't have a bad game, to be honest. But that's just going on our experience of him. No, seriously, he didn't have a bad game. He got some decisions wrong, but that's going to happen, you know.
Yeah.
So no, he didn't. He weren't bad at all. He weren't bad at all. For the record, let me just say, I'm saying the referee didn't have a bad game, and that referee was Keith Stroud. So I think I deserve a couple of brownie points for that. Not just one.
You do, yeah.
I think someone's just pre-commented. It didn't have much to do with it. It's right. It didn't. There weren't many real.
No,
much he had to do, but like you said, although that occasion second half, and I think it to me it looked like a foul on. I think it Morrison. I'm not sure. Someone at back went down in box. It Peltz, and you know it did his 1.5 minutes. I timed it 1.5 minutes. They were there talking to players. I instantly thought we were going to give free kick to Stoke as soon as Cross came in.
Yeah.
And then the other one what reminded me is right at the end of the game when he gives a free kick or something. Didn't give time to take it in blue full time, which is fine.
Yeah.
But, it's Keith Stroud, isn't it? It's his show.
Yeah, exactly. So this says, look on the bright side, at least we play out from the back and try to stay in games for as long as possible. Could be worse. Andrew Lang says, the best thing about yesterday's game was the Guy Branston co-commentary, and I follow very entertaining. Have you seen his commentary for the free kick? So we tag this where he says, it's too close. There's no way this is going in. Very good.
Poor old Guy.
It took some pelters yesterday. There was some comments on Twitter as well. But he went lounge before and after and during after game. And let me just tell you, he had nothing complimentary to say about that team at all. Stoke and Rotherham. Stoke and Rotherham, both.
Yeah, I can imagine. Matt Wilson says to stay up from here, we need to average about 1.5 points a game. No chance. Let's stop this ridiculous talk of the survival when it's unrealistic to even contemplate something that is out of our reach. We'll come into the game specifics later, I suppose, Kev, but in the grand scheme of things, we're only a point worse off. It's not a disaster. But you tweeted yesterday, look at the next 6 games. That Stoke game was massive because of our next run of fixtures. And if you're not going to win or pick up something against a team that's playing like Stoke are, when are you going to pick up points at home, especially at home?
Yeah, we're not, and that's been our strong points, isn't it? And we used to have, because we had a fighting endeavour before from previous management, whatever it is, previous squads. It's not blame that manager at all. But that's gone now. It's a totally different new look Rotherham, which is not a good look. It's awful to watch. It's boring. There's no energy. There's no pace. There's no nothing. And I can't, like I tweeted yesterday, I can't see a point coming from the next 6 games, let alone a win. I think the QPR game at the end of February, that's probably the game we probably likely to get a point from. But by then, we could be 12, 13, 14 points adrift. And we lose QPR, and we're pretty much, we're down. We're down anyway, aren't we? Let's be right. But that'll pretty much seal it.
Yeah. It's just a circumstance, Mick. It's only 8 points. There's 20 whatever games left now, less than 20 games left now. But we said to you and I said it on the Instagram yesterday, we're playing like a team that's bottom of the league. That's sort of accepting the fact that we're bottom of the league and sort of accepting that we're not very good. And it's like, well, that's fine. You are bottom of the league, but just ignore that for 90 minutes and go and put some pressure on the opposition, especially at home. And it's just petering. It is petering out. It's only January. It just feels like it's petering out a bit.
Okay, let's put a bit of perspective on this. Prior to this, we were 3 games unbeaten. We played reasonably well in all 3 games. We'd had a period where we were a bit dross in each of those games, but we played reasonably well, scored goals, been attacking. We've had 1 game, and I accept the importance of that game, given that it was at home and against a relegation rival. Let's not be, beat about the bush with that. But up until yesterday, it's not been too bad, and there's been a progression. We've talked about it after every game over those since the Christmas period. Each time there's been a progression. And the first time we dropped backwards a little bit, we've taken 4 or 5 steps forward, and we take 1 back, and all of a sudden, that's it. World's coming to an end. It's a disaster.
It is, but that wasn't that different from the Middlesbrough game, where we were extremely lucky to get a win out of that game.
We got a win out of it. And we got
but we did, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But the performance is similar.
Pushing forward, and we didn't do that yesterday.
Yeah.
In all the other games, we've had some attacking intent, even against Fulham. We had some attacking intent. Yesterday, for whatever reason, whatever changes he made to either tactics or setup or what, that attacking intent wasn't there. It's 1 game. It's 1 game out of the 4 that we've played, out of the last 5, where 4 of them, we've all been reasonably happy with the performances. So it feels like it's all or nothing. We're either doing reasonably well and we're seeing some progression, and we might have a chance to. That's it. That's the end of the season. Within 90 minutes.
Because of a gap, though, isn't it? If we're only 4 points adrift, it's different, isn't it?
Listen. I fully accept 8 points adrift at Christmas. The chances of you staying up are somewhere between slim and not at all. I'm fully on board with that, but I'm not on board with waving white flag and going, great, fine, stuff it. But that seems to be the attitude, of, we're down, League One, blah. Why are we all waving white flag? There's no way any sport.
Down.
We were yesterday. We were crap yesterday. Absolutely. But I don't know. It's football. We're football supporters. We support our football team. We get behind. We should be getting behind them, but we're not. We're not. We're just as a whole, and I include myself in this. Because of some of the stuff I said on post match yesterday. Never a good. I don't like that post match. It's never a good time to be talking about a game after you've played like that.
That's why it's funny.
I'm as bad as everybody else at times, but it seems to be getting worse anyway for me. And look, we might be down, we might not be. Mathematically, we're nowhere even close to being down at the moment. So let's see what happens. You listen to that McGuffin interview, and he's having none of it. He's having none of it.
Yeah.
So
it's almost like the home form. Like it's like there's more pressure now at home because we know we have got to get results at home to have any chance of staying up, and the pressure on. And just before the Stoke scored, I said to David side of me, I could have seen big changes at half. We'd have gone 0-0 at half time. I think we'd have seen changes instantly. We'd have probably seen Eves come on at half time, and then it's weirdly it then meant, I suppose, when we came out, he couldn't go all guns ho because even though we should, even because 1-0 down, but I think he made changes too late yesterday as well. I'd have changed it up well before then. I'd have got Hugo off. I'd have got Eves and Kelly on much sooner. We may as well lose 3-0 at home and actually go for it and try and get a point or a win.
Yeah, you're right. So we said Chelsea said not a single shot on target, and yet at the interview he did say that we were the aggressors, which was odd of Liam Richardson, to be honest with you. We weren't really the aggressors in that game, or neither team really were. Chris Page says nothing from the fans either. We've given them nothing to get going. The atmosphere was so quiet from both fans. Don't think Stoke were particularly loud yesterday either. It was just two teams that half accepted their fate and felt like in one stadium. Adrian agrees. It seems the first thought is damn limitation is how we set up. If we don't give the opposition to think about how can we win the game. Yeah, it works. It's frustrating because last couple of away games that's sort of been quite a good point from us. We're solid, we're difficult to beat, and it kept us in the game. But then when you do that at home, it just feels wrong, doesn't it? Because we should be the aggressors, and we're not seeing that. And you can accept it at Blackburn and at Fulham, but at home against Stoke, it just didn't feel quite right.
No, but I think it goes back to the pressure thing. Like when we're away from home, we aren't sounding doom and gloomy. But when we're away from home, we expect. Well, it's been 2 years, not technically, but 2022 since we went away. We expect it's a free hit almost, and I don't know, the pressure's off, so I think it gives us more chance to be a bit free and a bit more attacking minded. Even though we can't attack, it still gives us more attacking minded football. Yet when we're at home with games we need to be winning, they're not handling the pressure that well, and it's not Liam Richardson's fault. You know, he's got to pick a struggling, low in confidence team, and somehow get them playing. And he's just fighting fires and dodging bullets and questions from radio about Kioso and things like that. And he must be thinking, "What the hell have I done here? What have I got into?"
Yeah, we'll have a quick Kioso chat in a bit. Kevin mentioned Kugel there a few times, Mick, and it's odd. And this might be the hindsight glasses coming on. Eves should have probably started that game because he gives you those legs. And there was a few moments where you just think if you got an extra yard or two of pace, then everything would have been great because he'd have got through. There was some okay balls over the top that would look pretty dangerous. Eves would have got onto those. Right, might not have scored, but it'd have got onto him. I thought he did have a fairly positive impact when he came on Eves. But right now I want to be seeing Eves start. I just see more from him at the minute.
One of the things about yesterday was that there was absolutely no press whatsoever at any point during the game that's not strictly true. For 10 minutes or so after into the second half, there was a little bit of press. But that press has to start with Hugo and Nombe. Nombe's trying. Hugo will not press. He's not fast enough. I don't want to say he's not clever enough, but his positioning when he's pressing is not right. But the key to it is his pace. He's got none. He has no pace at all. That's not his job necessarily, and that's criticism of him. You know, but whereas Eves has got the pace, and he presses quite intelligently, which then allows the midfield to join in that press. There wasn't any. There was none of it, and that's why we didn't have an impact on the game yesterday. Plain and simple, because Stoke City have got lots and lots of style on the ball. They've got zero substance. Zero. Had they not got that set piece, there is no way Victor would have got his clothes mucky. unless he fell over going to fetch ball when he went out for a goal kick. You know what I mean? He had nothing to do, nothing. So we needed to get in their faces and we needed to press, and we didn't. And therefore, all that did is allowed them to win the possession points, throw it, just knock it about for fun. And when we got it back, we just gave it them and let them do it again. So Hugo, for me, shouldn't have started because we needed to be pressing, and Eves is far better at it than Hugo. He just left Nombe on his own, trying to run the ball down, and it weren't happening. It weren't happening. It shouldn't have started. I agree.
No, it doesn't help, Kev, also that the midfield was so deep. But it did literally leave Nombe doing everything because Hugo wasn't there. It wasn't like Ollie was really high up or we had wingers that were high up. It was Nombe running around and Hugo filling in a bit of space. Which, again, for me, if you're going to play that way, that's okay. But you need two really mobile strikers to put that pressure on because they're going to try and knock it around. That's the type of football they want to play. But we know teams at Championship are not. If you put pressure on, they struggle. So you've got to do it properly, and we didn't, and that just made it really easy for their defenders. Really easy. Yeah,
it did. Everyone knows my thoughts on Hugo. It's not a witch on. He's a multimillionaire. He don't give two shits what I think of him. I'm sure he'll not lose any sleep tonight. That I think he's an absolute donkey. He won't care. But he is. For me, he just don't do enough. He's on 13, 14 grand a week, whatever, and I think that's the only reason he plays because he's on so much money and they've got to justify it. But when Eves came on, in 5 minutes, he did more than Hugo did all game. And he allowed, by Eves pressing, which Hugo should have been doing, would have allowed Nombe more space in first half. It probably would have been Nombe going down line in first half because Eves would have been doing his job. But it just, for me, it just don't give us anything. If you watch him, he's very clever. He plays to the fans. He'll run for balls what he's never going to get, and he'll put a sprint. That's the only time he sprints when he's not going to actually get a ball. It's so frustrating. And then I think everyone, more and more people, you're hearing him say it in the crowd and all that now. Like he went down in first half, holding his
that second half where he stayed down when we had ball in that corner. That was crazy. That
one, yeah. And he does it all the time. I'd like, and the annoying thing is when he does actually decide he wants to jump and win an header, he generally does win an header. But sadly, 8 times out of 10, all he wants to do is look behind, see where the defender is, duck his back, and try and get a free kick, and then go down. It's just so frustrating because he's played in Premier League, he's played for West Ham, played for Norwich, he's played at top level. But we're certainly not getting the best of him, that's for sure.
No, we're not.
No, absolutely not. No, I agree, completely agree. At the moment, we're not getting anything from him. Midfield, Mick. Let's talk about midfield. We've talked about Ollie Rathbone a lot recently, and it's not working. And I don't like saying that because we love Ollie, and I think he eventually will come good. But again, he shouldn't start that game. Jamie Lindsay should have started that game, or even Cafu if you want Cafu to play. It's not working for Ollie. I mean, you need to not play him. If you want to bring him on as whatever, that's fine. Ollie shouldn't be starting at the minute.
No, he's bang out of form. He's bang out of form. I don't think he passed to a Rotherham player in that first half. That's probably an exaggeration, but the bulk of the time that he had the ball, he gave it away, and that's particularly in the first half. For me, given the way that Stoke play, and in trying to keep hold of the ball, I think Cafu probably would have been the better starter because he can look after the ball. He will look after the ball, as will Taye, as will Klukas. But unfortunately, Ollie's just not there at the moment for whatever that reason is. Whether he's been playing out of position or what it is, whether he's injured, whether his head's turned. I mean, we can start that rumour if you want. We can meet off Kioso for a bit. I don't know what it is. I've no idea, but it's just not cutting at the moment. So, yeah, for me, I think selection-wise, I think there were probably two mistakes in that starting 11, and that was Hugo, where it should have been Eves, and Rathbone. For me, it should have been probably Cafu. He's got experience and he keeps the ball. He holds the ball up well, and he
can do something as well, can't he?
Yeah, he can.
That may have assisted us get more because we'd have been able to keep hold of the ball. Whether that would have helped us in the press or not, I don't know. But it wasn't there anyway. It felt as a supporter that we'd we'd sort of decided that wasn't really part of our game yesterday, that press. So we got what we deserved, I suppose.
Oh yeah, we did. Yeah, Holly, Jimmy Lindsay all the way. Yeah, Kev, what's your view on Ollie Rathbone? Because since Matt Taylor's left, he's gone massively downhill. He's dropped to a cliff. His form. It's really odd because he's normally one you hang your hat on and say, "Don't you 10, you need to do X, Y, and Z," but Ollie's going to do whatever Ollie does, and it's just gone. It's just really weird to see it just disappear.
It is, and it's such a shame because literally everything circled around him. He was that little bite in midfield, that Terry who did chase things and make things happen and that. I feel for him. I love the guy. He's an absolutely diamond geezer. Maybe he has his head turned. I don't know, but he's certainly not the player he was last year. But maybe it's taking its toll that he has literally carried that role and that thing for a year and a half. Maybe it's just taking its toll, and who knows? But he's certainly not. He shouldn't have played yesterday. Jamie Lindsay or Cafu should have started, or maybe both and someone else. But I thought Sam Clucas were great yesterday again. He's getting better every game, I think. But I think Cafu for me, because one of the many things we're missing is some creativity. We've got nobody who can pick that one pass out or do something different, and he's the one who can do that. Well, yeah, Ollie for me needs a rest, and Matt's for us.
Oh, Matt's gone, has he?
For us, yeah.
I'm back. I'm back. Good. Wi-Fi. I'm taking down his role as poor Wi-Fi today. Noro says, remember once leaving half-time because they were terrible in 2007 against Chesterfield. He said, yes, they pushed it close in terms of performances. Darren Coward says, Lindsay, Cafu and Clucas for him going forward. No Tini. Interesting. Harry says, I think this is a reference to Rathbone. It hasn't been good enough since Wiles left.
True.
I thought
I still don't like him.
That's true, actually. Yeah. Do they want somebody else for £1 million that they're not going to play and not like? I'm sure we've got a couple of them we can find for him. Mid-defence down at Mick. We defended well. We defended pretty well. We restricted well. Did we defend well or Stoke rubbish? Going forward, take your pick. But we'll take the positive and say we defended pretty well. But there were issues within that in that we had quite a lot of pace on the left-hand side. You had Revan and Bramall who could push forward really, really well and do quite good going forward. But on the right-hand side, I love Lee Peltier. But, and it's a big but, he's not going to play right wing-back. He can't do it. Why? I don't. Bear in mind how well Revan played at right wing-back twice in 2 weeks now. I don't really understand what we're doing in that position. Because Hacks is not a natural defender. He's not doing the runs forward like Revan does on the left to help Bramall out. So that right-hand side were a complete waste of time. It was so easy for Stoke just to make sure Bramall don't get past you his pace and don't worry about Peltz on right-hand side.
Yeah.
We've got to be clever, I think, if you've got to play Peltz, great, that's fine. You've got to be clever about it, though.
Yeah, you have. You're swapping for Revan. It's very, very simple.
Right, yeah, it is.
You know, you put Peltz as a centre back and Revan at right wing back. It's not rocket science, you know. I feel for Lee Peltier because he is a defender. He's not a wing back, you know. And whenever he gets near opposition's 18-yard box, he gets a bit of a nosebleed, doesn't he? And unless he's actually in there looking to head ball, he is not going to cross the ball. It is not going to happen. He's played for us for 2 seasons now, I think, Anthony, and I don't think I have ever seen him cross the ball. He gets there and he turns back and gives it to somebody else to cross. And that's not a criticism. He's a defender. You know what I mean? He's not a wing back. He's either wants to be on receiving end of one of those crosses or stood watching it going. But yeah, I mean, he's a centre. He can play centre half. Revan is a wing back, left or right by the looks of it. You know. And then and to be fair to him, when at Blackburn away, and when he finally got to the right hand side yesterday on Saturday, I thought he looked very, very dangerous on that right hand side. For me, there's not a great understanding between Bramall and Revan on that left.
No.
One point yesterday where there was a bit of an overlap and it seemed to work well. The remainder of the time, one or both of them are running in the opposite direction to what they should be when they're trying to work together. You know what I mean? I think that's, again, not a criticism. Players have an understand. Some players have an understanding with each other, others don't. It's just a fact of life, isn't it? And I don't think Seb Revan and Colin Bramall have got that understanding. I don't think they work particularly. So yeah, for me, Pelt's in the middle, Bramall left back, Revan at right back, wing backs, and then you've got a far. But like I said, defensively, I don't think we did badly. But in order to help us to get out and to be able to back up that press that wasn't there, but had it been there, you've got two pretty decent wing backs there. So we didn't have that, like you said, which just brought us a world of trouble down right hand side or that down their left.
Yeah, Kim Hayward says Bramall frustrated yesterday. He's got all that pace and hardly use it. Not sure if it's just me though. It certainly wasn't just you, Kim, because the half, certainly in the stand we were in, was screaming, just go, just go. Yeah. It's so frustrating, Kev, because he's got everything, hasn't he? He's such a good player, but just be braver and go.
I was just about to say exactly that, mate. It seemed, yesterday felt like almost, it was like a Forrest Gump moment. People had to tell him when to run. It were almost like getting ball thinking, what do I do now? Run. Sprint down line, get across. It was bizarre. But it goes back to the confidence thing, doesn't it? He's lacking confidence, and in his head he's thinking, do you know what? If I do make this 50-yard sprint, get crossing box, who's gonna put it away anyway? I don't know. But I think defensively, I thought they were all right yesterday, but they didn't have much to do, like Mick says. Like when we got Middlesbrough, Southampton, Leeds, Hull, Watford all next. I mean, Watford, I think Watford had a good result in QPR today, but we're talking, Middlesbrough, Southampton, Leeds, Hull, unbelievable attacking teams. Now, that worries me because that defence looks very, well, we know they're old, we know that anyway, but looks very rigid and not very mobile. And I don't know. I think at one of them 4 games, we are in for a thumping. I won't be surprised if the Southampton one at home for us because of the lack of confidence we've got and how good Southampton can be holding the ball possession-wise. But yeah, they did all right, but I think we were lucky because Stoke were that poor and they made them look all right.
Yeah, we saw against Blackburn, didn't we, that we can get pulled apart. The first half an hour against Blackburn, we really struggled defensively, didn't we? So there'll be a team that's going to, John Rail says those fixtures, ouch. Yeah. Yeah.
Mad, isn't it? Ipswich after that. Forgot Ipswich after Watford.
No. Yeah, just throw out top 4. No, it's fine. Next 6, it's fine. It's fine, Rotherham fans. Don't worry about it.
Have we played anybody from bottom half?
Hillsborough.
Wednesday when they were bottom.
Yeah. But we didn't play that day anyway, so that day don't count.
No.
Because we just didn't turn
up. Let's cover the Kioso stuff because it was interesting. So the Pete Kioso wasn't in the starting 11. It wasn't even in the squad after Lee Richardson suggested on Thursday. Actually, it's just on Friday that he probably would be involved. There were quite a lot of rumours going around that he had refused to play, and then Liam Richardson. We have to take Liam Richardson at his word. We have to. That's all we can do. You have to give him at his word. He said that he had been ill for a few days, for 2 or 3 days. He's not slept or eaten properly. Mick, I'm going to let you. Paramount just says rant. I know your feelings on this, Mick. Would you like to let everybody else know how you feel about the situation?
I mean, my feelings are not related to the club in any way, though, are they? They're not. I mean, I can't. It's my age. I know it's my age. I know it is. But you've got some 13-year-old kid on his keyboard down in Peterborough banging on that Kioso is choosing to play, and all of a sudden Radio Sheffield are talking about it. It's pathetic. Honestly, it's pathetic. And this weekend, as we particularly on social media after the game and before the game, just makes me wonder what sort of generation of people are we bringing up here? It's like there is absolutely zero evidence, none, not an ounce of evidence to suggest that he's refusing to play. Nobody at all, other than Liam Richardson and Pete Kioso, know the answer to that question. Nobody's got any evidence, but it's a fact. Apparently, it's a fact. You know what I mean? I can't get my head around it, honestly. I tell you what annoyed me more than anything else out of this weekend, and it weren't Kioso related, right? Rotherham United put out the poll, for man of the match.
Mhm.
And because Sam Clucas weren't on that list, somebody were going on saying, whoever puts this list together, whoever puts these tweets out, should lose their job. Just let that sink in for a minute, right?
Yeah.
The person who does the tweets, which we know is Sam Todd, I assume it's Sam or one of the people that works with him, they should lose their livelihood. They should lose their income completely because they didn't put who I want on there. What on earth's going off? Is it me?
No.
Is it me?
No.
Or is it just what the? I nearly did it then. It's just bizarre, man. But the Kioso thing is that he's at the same ilk. What happens if he is ill? What are we going to do? If he's ill. And
What happens if he refuses to play?
Well, if he's refusing to play, that's a different issue. But we don't know, do we? We've no idea. But what we're doing is we're making it more and more and more difficult for a player to come and play right wing back for us when we're desperate for a right wing back. So here we are. What do we need? We need a right wing back. Absolutely. We've got one on books. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll make it right hard for him to come and play. It's like Russian roulette, isn't it? Bizarre. We're just shooting ourselves in the head. Bizarre, man. Honestly. Don't know.
But I've got a few thoughts on it.
Go on, Kev.
I know you don't.
Only because
the difference to mine.
I've seen a couple of comments in there, and they're right. I'm not going to name names, but well before the game started in the lounge, someone were on stage with a microphone and said Peter Kioso's refusing to play. So it's not some kidding. It's not some 30-year-old people who starts filming. And there's got to be some substance. Apparently his shirt were hung up in the changing room as well. Now, if he's been ill for 2 days, why is his shirting up in changing rooms? I don't know. But then you think the team sheet's printed and all that. When's that printed? His name's not even on team sheet. So there's, who knows? Like Mick says, the only two people who do know that. But personally, I think there's someone did say that he's going to he'll be gone this week. But might be someone else in for him as well. I don't know. Who knows? But I actually think, I'm not sure. Refusing to play is probably a harsh comment. Maybe just waiting the right frame. Maybe he's set his heart on. Yeah, I think maybe he set his heart on going back to Peterborough. We're happy there. We're playing well there. He probably expected a deal to happen before that game started, and he just probably weren't in right headspace. So he probably didn't think he was mentally fit to play, not physically fit to play, which is a big difference. But it is just rumours, but someone, the rumour may have been started from inside the lounge on that stage. So, and I know it were, and I am not going to argue with him either. So.
But to be fair, it wouldn't be like him to throw an hand grenade in and watch it explode, though, either, would it?
No.
Yeah. Libersham he sort of said it in the post-match, but he was quite sort of snappy about it. He was asked sort of again, was it true? I've just given you the answer to that. It was quite snappy, like he wasn't very happy about the situation, is what I would take from it. It could be he was injured. It could be he was ill. It could be Kevin could be right. It could be that he didn't want right mind for him. It could be that we decided we don't want to play him because if we plays for us, he can only go to Peter because he only play for two clubs. So it might be we want to leave the door open to go somewhere else.
Why not just say that then? Why then lie and say it will? It's just it's mad, isn't it? It's just a crazy situation, which we've called. Well, Matt Taylor calls it by sending him in first place.
The problem you've got with that is that from a PR point of view, you can't say too much because obviously if you do, then obviously rumour mill gets even further because it goes even further down the road. So this is why managers are as guarded as what they are when they speak, because they don't want people running off with wrong end of stick and doing what's happened this weekend. You know, for what it's worth, it's, for me the big tell is Liam Richardson's answers in that interview. Yeah, you know, but I've no evidence to say that it's true. So I'm just like a normal person. I just keep my mouth shut and wait and see what happens.
I think Matt's got a point with the if he had played for us, he can only play for because if someone else is in for him, I think apparently Peterborough waiting. They need to sell Clark Harris to fund the deal, which I don't know why. 'Cause, I mean, let's be right. McAnthony has done very well in selling players of it past. He must have a few quid spare. And I think the due, if Ivan Toney does the good to Arsenal, they're going to get about 30 million or something crazy like that.
Yeah,
30% sell on. So I think maybe it might be that a bit of everything. By playing for us yesterday, he would have only been able to go Peter, which then gets any other bids out of the way. And if we want a bidding war between Peter and whoever else, Charlton, I don't know whoever it is, that kind of limits it. So maybe it's a bit of that. But oh no, it's just a mad situation.
Yeah. Funny if Bristol Rovers came in, wasn't it? Matt Taylor fancies him at Bristol Rovers.
Yeah.
Send him there just for laugh.
Yeah.
Go on.
No, I can't remember what I was going to say now. Just the fact that, the chances are there'll be an offer from somewhere, won't they? And it's likely to be Peterborough, and hopefully we can screw one over on him if somebody else comes in with a better offer. But yeah, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see before we put all our eggs in one basket and start calling him out. That's all I'd say. Yeah.
John Morell says Mick from Face was getting more red in the face the longer he read through it.
I need one of these. What do they call them? What do these posers call them? Digital detox or something, don't I?
Don't know. Matt the Miller says, this is a dig, Mick. What generation of people are we bringing up today? Says Mick. Hopefully, it's the generation that, unlike the present, doesn't slag off the referee.
What I'd say to that, mate, is
don't buy it.
all I would say is slagging off in public so that they can all see, so all the players and management team can see, slagging the manager and players off in public, calling them out, telling them they should lose the job, has not been something that's been able to be done over the years. We've all done it in pub after the game. Oh, we're crap. We need to sack manager or whatever. But it's now done publicly. It's down so that everybody can see, and everybody else jumps on the bandwagon as well. Loads and loads of people, and it can become an issue. From a referee's point of view, the referees have been slagged off since referees became part of the game. That's just that is how it has always has been. And I'd like to think I slag them off. However, I try not to be too personal about it. I try not to make it personal attacks. It's about their abilities and decision making that we criticise. People criticise me at work all the time. Well, not all the time, but a lot. We all get criticised at work, don't we?
Yeah.
And that's part and parcel of the job. But the personal attacks on players and your own club, and undermining your own club and your own players' confidence and everything else is the point I'm trying to make. It doesn't make any sense to me at all.
I mean, I've said stuff. I've been guilty of saying, but what I won't do is like what some people do is tag them in. That winds me up when they tag somebody in. I mean, I'm vocal about it. Someone the other day said that I love every player and I never have a bad word to say. And I think, well, I don't really get it from because I slate everybody. I don't think I've got a good say of anybody. Apart from Victor Johansson and Adolfin, I'd get rid of a lot.
Because you were talking about hacks this time last year.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know. It's when they tag them in. It's when we all say stuff. You can say what you want. It's a freedom of free speech on Twitter. That's what it's for. But don't tag a player in and don't get like very personal. You might say, yeah, he's had a bad game. He's just I won't play him again. But then when you start putting and using expletives and things like that, it's just there's no need for that.
Yeah, I agree. Agreed.
We'll move on to some transfer rumours and now. Anything else from the game yesterday we want to talk about before we move on?
No.
I'm surprised we've got 45 minutes out.
No. Can we have a laugh about the Keith Stroud bit where their player's off the pitch injured and he runs over and gets into his foot back on the pitch just so he can get someone on?
That was at number 7, weren't it?
Yeah.
Again.
I mean, that was bizarre. And I mean, that's certainly something, and that's not a Keith Stroud issue. This has happened since time immemorial, hasn't it? Player goes off just off the pitch and then rolls back on it. For me, the referee should be saying to him, "Get your foot off the pitch.
Yeah.
Get your foot off the pitch. There's a yellow card. Get your foot off the pitch."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because it's just done deliberately done for time waste. And I mean, why he went down in the first place.
It weren't a foul. He didn't give a foul, did he? So there weren't a foul.
It wasn't a foul, but Klukas did get him. He did connect with him. I enjoyed it. To be honest
with you. Yeah, that was funny though. It was funny though.
Yeah.
They were. John Morrell, Birmingham fan, says only players ever tagged was Jonathan Grounds, who was a useless excuse of a player. Thankfully, Twitter wasn't around back then. Fair enough. Right, let's talk about the transfer rumours. No defenders mix still. It's a big week, this one, because we've got other game. Well, the next 2 weeks are massive, to be honest. For the next 2 and a bit weeks. If you want a chance of staying, we all know the situation. If you want a chance of staying up, you need players. And Liam Richardson's mentioned up to 5. If he had his choice, he'd probably have more than that, to be honest with you. There's been links of Callum Lang today. Those have come up. Aaron says Callum Lang from Wigan. There was rumours on Monday night after the Manchester United game that he was sort of waving goodbye to the Wigan fans. It might be a lazy link because it's Liam Richardson, or it might be that, like Nombe was a bit of a link. He wants to play for the same manager again. But Callum Lang's got that a bit of, from what I watched briefly, he's got a bit of creativity. He sort of plays as that number 10 role. He can link the midfield properly in the strike because Hacks can't do it because he's in defence. We'll talk about defenders in a minute, but Callum Lang might just fit the bill. Maybe this season, and definitely if we go down, definitely in League One.
Yeah, well, let's wait and see, shall we? I mean, I have got a bit of transfer news, which is breaking news.
Go on.
It'll be certainly breaking news to some of our supporters. We remain bottom of the food chain in the Championship. Nothing's going to happen until everybody else has had their dinner. It's as simple as that. You know, that hasn't changed all season. I know, so it's not really breaking news, but yeah, I mean, there may be some. The manager knows this player, he knows that player. Potential. Callum Lang being an example there. But at the end of the day, we're going to have to wait and see what's left because that's all we're going to get. Who in their right mind is going to come to the bottom of the league club? Certainly on a permanent, that's not going to happen. You know, when it comes to loan players, the parent clubs are going to want them to play as high up as possible. So until that last week of the transfer window, the chances of us being able to do anything are pretty slim. I'm sorry, but that is a fact. It's also a fact that we've known for about 10 years. Why people should be surprised about that is a bit of a surprise to me, to be honest. It's not going to happen, is it? Unless we're very, very lucky.
I suspect, though, and again, we're just speculating, Kev, that Kioso deal might play a part. 'Cause if we're going to get X amount of money from Peterborough, we can then put that on a loan or two, maybe buy Callum Lang, whatever. So we haven't really got rid of anybody yet, and I'm not convinced Tony's going to put any money in this window or much money in this window. So it's going to have to be self-generated. Look at the Wiles deal in for number. It's probably self-generated.
Yeah, and I think if anybody thinks that we're going to that Liam Richardson's going to get a slice of what we're going to get for Kioso, the time Tony's filled his wine cellar back up, I don't think much left anyway. So, but no, I don't know. I think whoever Mick's absolutely bang on. Always going to want. I mean, you bring someone in and say, I'll tell you what, we'll come up to Roundwood, we'll show you his training facilities for one. What, that porta cabin, that wheelie bin? I'm all right, mate. I'll not bother with that. You know, we've got non-league training facilities. How is that going to attract players? And I think whoever we do sign now, it's Liam Richardson planning. He knows he's got a massive job. He needs to get rid of a dozen players. I think there's 12 out of contract. And I won't be surprised if one or two of them re-sign. But I think he'll have a massive clear out. And whoever he signs now, he is planning for. He'll never say it, and no one will admit it. But he's planning for League One next year. Simple as that. And he's doing the right thing. I've been doing exactly the same. So I think Lang's perfect. I've heard Conley. I don't know much about him. Conley from Blackpool. I don't know much about him at all. I've heard he's one we're looking at. I've heard there's a few going out on loan. Which one? If it's true about Kelly, I don't agree with that. I'd rather keep Kelly and give him some game time, planning for League One next year, rather than especially someone said Forest Green Rovers. I can't see that happening ever.
That's in Gillingham.
Yeah, I heard Gillingham as well, which that's better because at least they're challenging a bit. But what's point in sending a striker who's low on confidence to a club low on confidence, where he's probably going to get one chance every game if he's lucky. He's going to come back worse.
Manager as well.
Right, exactly. I'll probably slag him off on radio day after or something. Yeah. But no, he'll be signing players now, planning for again. What's point in signing some loan players? Who's going to want to come in first place? And what's point in signing, because they're not going to add much to it. They're not going to be much better what we've already got. And like Mick says, the best ones have gone anyway. So he may as well make a couple of, hopefully Lang and maybe someone else, make a few permanents on a 3-year contract planning for League One.
Yeah. Shelley says we need a winger or two at the minute. Tarek Fosu is still free agent as far as I'm aware, so he's available. Nick says he'd take Lang. I think he's a decent age. I think 25, 26, something like that. So again, a decent age. Probably should be getting him his peak, assuming he can stay fit. Matt Miller says, how many millions do you think we can get from selling Hugo?
Well,
he's here. He's staying, I think.
That's a problem, though. Joking aside, if rumours he's on 13, that's 600,000. It's going to cost us nearly £1 million to get rid of him.
Yeah,
unless it's a big chunk of money.
That was the risk, wasn't it, that Matt Taylor took last year. He took a big risk in getting Hugo. I mean, it helped keep us up, but it's a big contract, and who knows what clauses are in there if we go down. I hope there's a big clause in there if we go down.
Yeah,
or we can offload him potentially.
I've said it before and I'll say it again. Controversial, but that man there on that shirt, I'd rather paid him what he wanted and kept him than signed that lump. But that's for another day.
Well, Ray Smedley says Smith to Derby. Would you?
Oh,
yeah.
He'll never come back to us.
No, I can't see it. Where another comment? I can't find where it's gone anyway. Mick, defence is an issue. Kevin mentioned Callum Connolly, who is at Blackpool. He's a defender. We need defenders. There's no two ways. But even if you want to keep Hacks there, which I don't want, but if you want to keep Hacks there, you still need a couple more defenders to come in. We've still got Grant Hall on the books, as far as I'm aware. Daniel Arler still on the books, so both long-term injuries. There needs to be movement in these next 16 days with the 31st.
Yeah, there does. I mean, it depends how far off Cameron Humphreys has done it as well.
Yeah,
and assuming that there's any truth whatsoever in rumours that Tyler Blackett might well be training again.
Yeah,
as it might be. So, yeah, we do. We definitely need a couple of defenders. But if we can get Cam Humphreys back, we'll be halfway there, won't we? So, yeah, we do. We need a couple more centre halves, but yeah, I don't know.
Given us current average age at the back, I think I'm more referring to Billy Connolly or Brian Connolly, not that Connolly.
Fully right. People mentioned Blackett. Pal Blackett was pictured on Friday in the Fostering Rotherham campaign that they tweeted out. I think I've seen that picture before. So I'm not sure if Tyler Blackett is. I could be wrong, but I'm not sure if Tyler Blackett is back in training and those pictures are from that. So we'll have to wait and see. Scott Kent's right. Good to see Fergie back. Fergie was in training. He was spotted. He'd be a very useful player to have back fit.
Very much so.
Yeah, definitely.
A bit of versatility. Other than centre halves, Kev, what else you want? What else you want in a bit of pace somewhere?
Yeah, definitely a bit of pace. But someone like I think Shelley said it, some wingers or something. We've got to get something down the wings, get some crossing box for Hugo to try and win. But yeah, it's all over, isn't it? Let's be right. It's all over. I don't mean it is all over. I mean it's all over the park. We need new players and some fresh impetus. I mean it is all over, but yeah. No, he's got a job in his hands, and let's be right, he has got a mad. Not only has he inherited probably the worst Rotherham team I've seen, but the most expensive Rotherham team, expensive assembled Rotherham team I've seen. Yeah. So he's going to be working a tight budget anyway. His budget's going to drop in League One. He's got to get rid of some crap first before he can get new blood in. I would not want his job for loving the money.
No. John asks Mick, do you sell Victor this window to maximise the amount of money you would get and improve the squad with 5 or so players you need? If you go down, the price tag will be less. No matter what you say, you might disagree with me, but the price tag would be less when you go down. We don't want Victor to go anywhere.
No.
Realistically, it's down to Liam Richardson. It's what Liam Richardson needs and wants from this squad and what he thinks. If he thinks he can stay up, then you do it because you think you can get £5 million. No, we won't get the full 5 million, will he? Obviously, using that as a number. Yeah. But can he use that to stay up, or do you keep him in someone and hope you can convince him somehow to have a season, have a jolly in League One for you, which is never going to happen. But
no, it shouldn't happen. If we do go down, no matter what, Victor needs to move on because for his career, you know, he's an international goalkeeper now, and he's not going to be. There's no way he's going to maintain his international status by playing in third tier of English football, no matter how that compares to you know, other tiers across Europe. So yeah, it's not a decision I want to have any. I clearly don't have any part in, but I don't have any part in either. The last thing I want is for him to go, but that's just being selfish. The reality of the situation is that Victor needs a move ultimately to progress his career. He needs an upward move, he needs a right move, which in my view, biased as I am, needs to be to a Premier League club. I don't think a Championship club would be the way forward for him unless it's Leicester or somebody like that who are definitely going to go up. I think he should be playing in the Premier League.
Yeah.
And when I look at the quality of some of the goalkeepers in the Premier League, you know, he is streets in front. Yeah. Streets in front. And I look at the Man United keeper for a start, you know, the biggest club in the world, allegedly, you know, and he is, Victor Johansson is many times the keeper, the Man United keeper is, whatever his name is, many times. Anana, yeah. So that's the level he should be playing at. Because if he can play at that level, Victor can play at that.
Yeah.
But you know, I mean, I'm going off at a tangent. I don't want to sell him. I don't want him to go. I want him to stay here for the rest of his career. Not going to happen. So the argument is, should he go? Probably, yeah. Yeah,
I agree, Mick. I'd sell him. I love the guy. He's the best goalkeeper in my eyes we've ever had, and I'm going back 40 odd years. But that comment's absolutely right. If we go down, not only is it not fair on Victor Johansson because he's got a year and a bit left to his deal, not only is it not fair on him to play in League One football, he's going to be worth £1 million. Sell him now, we might get, like, say, £4 or £5 million if we're lucky, but he deserves that opportunity. He don't deserve to be. He almost doesn't deserve to have a relegation on his CV of this level, and he certainly does not need to be playing League One football next year. He won't be. It's impossible to. Which means we'll sell him at the end of the season for £1 million, and it's just scandalous. But then the problem we've got is we do sell him. Like the rumours Fulham were after him. With possibly Rodak coming back. Rodak don't want to. Why does he want to come back to Rotherham? potential playing League One next year. No, Tar. Yeah. Do it.
Yeah. Let's see. Matt Miller says, as much as we love Victor when we go down, he must go for pastures new. His talent deserves it. Parad says, if Victor doesn't want a new deal, which why would he? Because the situation we're in, we need to find the best possible deal. Which I think sums up pretty well to be Paramount. If he's
he signed a new deal, and he's got a 3-year contract. Last year signed a 3-year contract.
It was just 2 years.
Wait, 2 years. Well, we've got a 1-year extension, haven't we? I think as
okay,
yeah.
We'll see. It's going to be a busy couple of weeks.
Conversation. I don't want to.
I know you don't.
No, nobody does. I don't think not one Rotherham fan would ever want that to happen. But I think every Rotherham fan would agree that he deserves better.
He does deserve better.
100%. Yeah. He does, and he will get better. He will get it at some point. IRC
unless he goes to Sheffield.
Yeah, true. IFC United says there's no in Rotherham will let his contract run out. That would be very, very Rotherham United, wouldn't it? Yeah. Anyway, anything else we want to cover tonight, boys? We've done an hour or so. Anything else we need to cover?
Have you watched Saltburn?
No.
Don't.
That's Kev's tip for you. Don't watch it.
Yeah, do really.
Right, well, thank you everybody for watching. Please subscribe on YouTube if you haven't done already. If you want to watch the interaction with me and Mick yesterday, where someone walks in front of us while we're filming, that was fun. Watch that. Have a watch of that. We'll be back on Thursday evening for the full review of Middlesbrough away. The scouting report will be out at some point as well. We'll speak to the Borough Breakdown, I think they're called. We'll speak to them this week, get a bit more information about Middlesbrough and Dan Barlaser and Matt Crooks and whoever else they've got over there as well. We'll find out a bit more about those as well. If you're actually to Spotify again, make sure you've subscribed to where you're listening. Give us a 5-star rating where you're listening to as well. Kev, thank you very much, mate. It's always a pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you.
And Mick, Good rant tonight, Nick. Very, very good. People, your Mick Rant fans are very happy with you tonight.
Yeah, just seemed to go off in at a tangent and never really said out, did I really? Just, I should have prepped.
You should have prepped. Yeah. John Morrell points out we're on Discord. If anyone wants to join Discord, we tweeted him earlier.
What is Discord? I don't even know what Discord is.
It's like a forum kind of thing, but it's like a big group chat where you have different topics in it. Go on the link on our Twitter page. You can join it, Kevin.
I'm all right, mate. I'm an adult. I'm all right.
Yeah. That's what I said, Ken. But then I realised there might be an opportunity to slag people off on it.
All right.
There is that. Yeah. You can't tag players in this one, though. Okay. So, what do you want? You know what I mean? Anyway, thank you everyone for watching. We'll see you next time. And up the Millers.
Oh, the Millers.
Oh, the Millers.
It's a Wales through a goal, slots it beyond Fodringer, and the Millers are in front in the South Yorkshire derby. And for the first time in 42 years, Rotherham United win at Bramall Lane. On the edge of the box, Duffin, he can hit them, and he does. Duffin has scored an absolute screamer for Rotherham United. Rotherham United have secured their championship status for next season.